Warning: your uncontrolled reactions are secretly demolishing your spirit right now. You think a sudden outburst or impulsive comeback proves your strength, but in truth it betrays your inner citadel. Every time you allow anger or fear to hijack your mind, you surrender your sovereignty and hand authority over to fleeting externals. This shocking reality echoes Epictetus's dichotomy of control, where the only true domain you command is your own reason. When you lash out at a harsh email or stew in resentment after a careless comment, you give life to a hidden chain that binds your peace. The first reason your spirit erodes is that your reactions reveal an attachment to outcomes you cannot command. You might pretend that scoring a verbal victory against a critic will fortify your self-worth, but this is an illusion. Stoicism teaches that external events are neither good nor bad until you assign them meaning, and you keep feeding poison to your wounds when you forget this secret. You secretly crave the approval of strangers and then feel devastated when their silence or rejection arrives. That craving becomes the soil where your defeats take root and flourish until you are uprooted from your own ground. The second reason your reactive habits are ruining you is that they undermine the rational governance you are meant to embody. You are meant to rule your mind like a wise emperor, not be ruled by every passing whim or insult. Each time you erupt, you demonstrate that your impulses hold more sway than your reason, and that is the shocking truth you keep avoiding. Epictetus taught that no one can harm your spirit except you by misjudging events, and you keep stepping into that trap without warning. This hidden flaw is that you confuse emotion with strength and mistake reactivity for resilience. Real fortitude comes from calm deliberation and the ability to step back and observe your impulses as an impartial witness. When you practice the Stoic discipline of self-reflection, you discover patterns of reaction that act like silent saboteurs of your peace. The third reason your spirit is under assault is that these reactions deepen unvirtuous habits and distance you from your highest self. Habitually responding with frustration, guilt, or shame reinforces character traits that erode your capacity for compassion and courage. Seneca wrote that, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity with calmness," and you're crafting a self-fulfilling prophecy with every episode of agitation. You unknowingly commission your own undoing by letting each reaction become a brick in the wall between you and your ideals. Every reactive episode chips away at your inner tranquility until you hardly recognize the person beneath the storm of your emotions. You are risking your long-term flourishing for a fleeting sense of satisfaction. Pause and recognize that Stoic training relies on negative visualization and premeditation of adversity so that you can inoculate your spirit against shocks. Yet you never take the time to rehearse the worst, and so each unpleasant surprise hits you like a wave pounding a fragile vessel. You hide behind distraction and complaint instead of facing the truth that emotional mastery demands constant vigilance. You keep falling prey to the notion that if you could just silence the trigger or eliminate the cause, you'd finally find peace. That is a hidden trap, because Stoicism teaches the only real freedom comes when you free yourself from the tyranny of externals. You uncompromisingly chase comfort and avoidance, but each reactive shortcut only cements your reliance on circumstances. A truly liberated spirit welcomes obstacles and transforms adversity into opportunity through the power of perspective. You secretly fear that letting go of your reactions means becoming weak or indifferent, when actually it means embodying virtue with unshakable resolve. Imagine the shock of discovering that stepping back from anger or anxiety does not diminish your humanity but magnifies it. This is the Stoic secret that true courage is silent and comes from the mastery of self, not conquest of others. Every time you feel the urge to snap back or sink into despair, you face a choice to exercise this hidden strength. Yet you often succumb to the immediate gratification of release rather than embracing the disciplined pause that defines a philosopher king. You must recognize that your emotions are neither masters nor enemies, but signals pointing to judgments that need correction. When you learn to reframe an insult as mere noise or a failure as a valuable lesson, you seize control of your inner narrative. That act of reframing is like forging a sword in adversity, and you can wield it to carve a path through any storm. You have been ignoring the warnings etched into Marcus Aurelius's meditations about the fleeting nature of reputation, power, and pleasure, and you keep betting your peace on them. In doing so, you expose your spirit to ruin, because no external possession or praise can guarantee enduring contentment. Instead, you must anchor your sense of self in your own judgment, your own virtuous actions, and your unbreakable capacity for reason. You cannot outsource your tranquility to anyone else or anything else. That is why the final truth you must confront is that your reactions are performances for an audience in your mind that doesn't exist. You react in fear of judgment you imagine, in anger at slight shadows of offense, in shame for mistakes you hold too tightly. All this drama plays out on the stage of your consciousness where you should command the show, not be a hapless pawn. Recognize that the Stoic sage lives by logos and reason, treating each impulse like a visitor to be greeted and politely shown the door if no virtue dwells within. This is not a strategy you can adopt tomorrow because habit formation demands relentless practice in the present moment. Each time you catch yourself overreacting, you must pause, breathe, interrogate the judgment fueling the emotion, then decide whether it aligns with wisdom. That simple act is where your power resides, and it is the antidote to the poison of ungoverned reactions. Your spirit is capable of enduring any trial so long as you withhold action until your reason has weighed the stakes. Stop believing that silence is weakness or hesitation is failure and instead embrace the shocking potency of patient restraint. When you make this shift, you will discover a hidden reservoir of strength that no outrage, insult, or setback can deplete. You will reclaim the unshakable calm Marcus Aurelius experienced by reminding himself each morning that the impediment to action advances action, and that obstacles are fuel for your growth. Now the challenge stands before you. Will you continue to feed the flames of your own undoing, or will you seize the reins of judgment and reignite your spirit with unassailable purpose?